Hello FIGGIE fiends and collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with another Indiana Jones Adventure Series figure review. Today we're going to be having a look at René Belloq in his ceremonial get-up from the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. As always though, before taking a look at the figure itself, we're going to look at the packaging, of which, as always, is windowless. Kind of annoying. We've just got this CGI render of the figure itself. Indiana Jones Adventure Series at the top there. Build an artifact feature, of which comes with this figure. Also, name of the character, bit of legal MacGuffle there. And, of course, a nice drawn picture of the character from the film. If we look around, just as that continues on the side here, you've got Indiana Jones Adventure Series at the top. A nice picture of René Belloq in his ceremonial get-up, as well as him stood behind the Ark of the Covenant preparing to open it. You've got a bit of information about the plastic packaging free, which we all know and love. And on the other side, you've got a rundown of other figures in the line that make up the Build an Artifact wave to build the Ark of the Covenant. A ton of legal MacGuffin at the bottom there. And on the back, you've got a picture, or CGI render again, of the figure itself, film that it appears in, René Belloq ceremonial, and a picture of the figure and all the accessories that it comes with. I say all, just one. More legal MacGuffle at the bottom, and at the very bottom there as well. So, that is the packaging out the way and done with. Let's take a look at René Belloq out of the box.
Right there, Bishop.
And here we have René Belloq out of the packaging in hand. This is how he appears at the very end of the film, where he dresses up in some Jewish ritual get-up. As Colonel Dietrich says,
I am uncomfortable with the thought of this Jewish ritual. Are you sure it's necessary?
For the ceremony that René Belloq performs on the opening of the Ark of the Covenant, he actually recites an actual Jewish prayer which is said in synagogues when the Torah Ark is opened. Although it is worth noting that he omits the end of the prayer, which consists of a blessing to Jewish people. Not only that, but the Ark of the Covenant that he's opening is the Holy Ark, which is a different Ark to the Torah Ark, of which is an interesting detail to add and further highlights how incompetent the Nazis are in Raiders of the Lost Ark. And granted, this is a costume that appears very, very briefly in the whole context of the film. Granted, I can see why Hasbro have done this one, because nostalgia! It was featured in the retro vintage line of Indiana Jones figures back in the day. They also did a 3¾ inch version of this as well in the run-up to Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And now we have it in 6-inch Adventure Series scale, of which I'm completely cool with, although it would be safe to say I would have rather have seen something a little bit different. Opening scene René Belloq, where he's in more of his adventurer gear, and that would have coupled quite nicely with the indie figure that we got in Wave 1. Maybe even Cairo get-up René Belloq, although we are getting him in a multi-pack with Marcus Brody, of which is perfection. So I'm actually now fine with this one, with this knowledge in mind. I just hope they do an adventurer René Belloq, because that would be a really cool figure to see. But nonetheless, we've got the ceremonial René Belloq in our collections now, and here he is. If we get a close-up on this figure, this was the one that I was probably least excited about, but I do have to admit it's kind of won me over because it's a lot more intricate than I initially thought it would be. So if we just give you a little 360 around there, you've got his headdress on there. And that head sculpt is a really, really good likeness to the actor that plays René Belloq, I think. Of course, if we just look at the headgear as well, you've got that gold band going around. It's got some engraving as well. Got the sort of jewel chest plate thing going on here. I'm sure there's a religious terminology for that. Likewise the staff, but I couldn't quite find it when doing my initial research, but it looks pretty cool anyway. And just the main thing I think I really want to note is the sculpting and the paintwork on that checkered pattern of the sort of attire that he's wearing is absolutely incredible. And additionally, if we look very, very closely, you might be able to just see it, but there are some like sculpted in flower patterns on the figure. It's quite difficult to see. You can kind of see it there, which is super, super nice. You can even see some more predominantly here. You've got the belt as well, which has some different colorations and striping. Just looks really, really dope. Lots and lots of effort has been put into the paint with this one. And I think that more than makes up for the lack of accessories, of which we will get into. If we look down here, you've got the skirt of the robes as well. There is a bit of a traffic coning effect which goes on with the legs, unfortunately, but it is what it is. You're not really going to have this guy in some of the most dynamic poses ever. It's mostly going to be stood behind the Ark of the Covenant, of which this really does complement extremely well with that build an artifact accessory once you've built it. I'm pretty sure as well the legs are reuse. I can't put my finger on which figure. It could be the Club Obi-Wan Indy, maybe, of which subsequently I think the Professor Indy also used the legs for. Kind of has that look to it. That's fine, you're not really going to pay too much attention, plus I'd imagine, yeah, René Belloq is probably wearing a bit of a suit under there, or the trousers to the suit that he was wearing previously, so that's fine. In terms of paint application, fantastic. There's no real paint scuffs or issues that I've really picked up on. It looks beautiful. I love as well, in terms of the hands, well, obviously he's got the gripping hand, but then he's got this open palmed hand, so you can have him kind of doing the ritual thing, or even picking up the sand and watching it seep through his fingertips just there. Now, in terms of the accessories that the figure comes with, it's a little bit disappointing, but to be honest, I've really racked my brains and I can't think of another accessory that the figure could have came with. Nonetheless, the only accessory that this guy comes with is the staff, of which I have to say is really well sculpted. You've got the ram heads on there, and then if we move on down, you've kind of got that spinal column kind of design for the staff itself. Then at the very bottom, you've kind of got an ornate gold design there. Very, very cool. Really like the staff itself. It's just the only accessory that it comes with. Unless it came with a bag of sand that you can put in the Ark. I don't know, that would be lame. But the only thing I think the figure could have maybe come with, and it would have been probably a bit of a push, because it would be basically another figure, would be if it came with some of the ghosties, so you can put them around the Ark or inside the Ark. That would be dope, but alas, he didn't. That's a shame. Would have been cool to get some translucent ghosties for something a bit different and for some display value. It also comes with these sticks or carrying poles for the Ark of the Covenant. Once you buy all the figures, you can use all the parts that they come with to build the Ark of the Covenant, and I think that's a really, really cool feature. We will be doing a separate video of the Ark of the Covenant itself. Keep peepers peeled for that one. And we're back to the figure itself. In terms of articulation, he has a ball jointed head on a ball hinge, dumbbell joint in the neck as well, so you can get a bit more motion for him to look down. Ball jointed shoulders, swivels at the tops of the forearm as well, so just here. Ball jointed elbows, ball jointed wrists, ball jointed torso, and he's got ball jointed hips, swivels at the tops of the thighs, ball jointed knees, and ball jointed ankles with the rocker joints. However, it is worth noting, in terms of posability, because there's traffic coning going on because of how thick this plastic is, you're not really going to get too much posability out of those legs themselves. To be fair, you're not really going to want to, because this guy's going to be mostly stood up. He's not going to be sat down or doing anything too dynamic. He's just going to be stood there looking into that Ark of the Covenant and letting his head blow up. Of which, understandable why Hasbro didn't do an alternative head for this one, unlike Tote. Nonetheless, I'm really, really pleased with this figgy. Like I said, not my first choice for a René Belloq to be made, but I'm getting that appeased with that Marcus Brody and René Belloq 2-pack. This certainly goes extremely well with Tote, and I really do hope that we get Dietrich at some point so that we can really recreate that Ark of the Covenant unboxing experience that we see in the film. It's just missing him, and it'd be great to have him. Yeah, accessories are lacking. It would have been really cool to have got some ghosts of which would have just filled out the display extremely well. It's a fine figure. It's fine enough. It's worth picking up if you want to complete the Ark of the Covenant, because this goes with it extremely well. It's the cherry on the cake, I suppose. And that's just my thoughts on this figgy. Let me know what you guys think. Will you be picking him up? What do you think of René Belloq? Sound off in the comments down below. Well, this is me, Danny Lee's 1000, signing out, and thank you very much for watching.